Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video. My name is Taylor Benterud, and I want to talk to you today about what is on the whiteboard, agency growth pains. In particularly, how do you avoid these growth pains so that you can continue the rapid growth? At Better AMS right now, we are experiencing some serious growth pains, and it's very interesting because if we didn't have these growth pains, I wouldn't have the concerns that I have, and I think we'd be growing a lot faster. And so basically just working my ass off to completely eliminate these growth pains and the root source of these growth pains, not just alleviate them with some freaking Advil that doesn't actually get rid of the problem. So I'll be talking to you about how to actually get rid of the problem that causes the growth pains and pretty much what I think are the most common growth pains, at least when you're scaling from like $0 to $100,000 per month. So first of all, let's clear this page and start off with, I guess, the most common growth pains that you'll experience. So number one is going to be probably people. And I say that because it doesn't matter if you're going from $0 to $10,000 per month. You're going to need to hire someone at $10,000 a month or even before that. If you're going from $10,000 to $20,000, you're going to need to hire another person. If you're going from 20 to 50, you're going to need to hire more people. And what's very interesting is that the first, in my opinion, the first 10 people you hire, okay, determines the speed and basically determines your trajectory of the agency. The first 10 people. Why? Because this is your foundation. Now, it's different if you're hiring a lot of offshore people. For example, if you're hiring people in the Philippines, you know, for $2 to $5 to $8 per hour or whatever. Okay, that's fine. You may have 10, 20 people in the Philippines, but if you have onshore people that you're hiring, which are from your native country, let's just say it's the United States, or let's say it's Canada, and these are people that you're paying, you know, $45 to upwards of $75,000, $80,000 or $100,000 per year. Those first 10 people that are quote unquote more like real hires that are going to be helping you scale the agency, it's either going to make or break you, because if you fuck up the first 10 people, believe me, you're going to hate your agency and it's not going to be that fun. And you're going to have churn issues with people, churn issues with clients. There's going to be a lot of things that are going on. So the first thing you're going to have to get really damn good at to avoid this huge pain that you're going to experience, and we're also experiencing this right now, is people. Now, we've done a great job of hiring the right people. We've done a not so great job of making sure that we can find more of the right people the moment we need them, okay? So hiring people goes into like kind of two tangents. One is the right people, and two is like the pipeline, okay? Because you need a solid pipeline if you're going to want to scale quickly. Let's just imagine that in 30 days you went from, let's just say, like $15,000 per month to, let's just say, like $35,000 per month. And let's assume that this isn't just a one client increase. Let's just assume that the average retainer of a client for you is like $3,000. Well, then we're looking at like roughly 7 clients. And 7 clients, you're going to need to hire an account executive to take on those 7 extra clients. So you don't want to just hire anyone, but that's probably what your brain is going to think, because you're experiencing this tremendous pain where you're like, holy shit, I can't manage these 7 clients myself. And I can't wait 3 months to hire the right person. I need somebody right now. And that's a huge growth pain that you're going to experience. And you, in my opinion, you never hire fast. You always just hire slow and wait for that amazing person to come in. Do not lower your standards. That's a growth pain that we're experiencing right now, more on the pipeline side of things, not so much on the right people. I think we've done a tremendous job of hiring the right people, but we're working on improving our talent pipeline so that we can always have the right person ready to be onboarded the moment we need them, so we can be more proactive. Right now, it's like things are freaking chaos. We do not have capacity to sign another 2 or 3 clients. And just in general, in a service-based business, I don't care what your service is, people is going to be your number one problem. Okay, it's guaranteed going to be your number one problem. So with that being said, let's continue on to number 2. And I'm really curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section below if you think that people is not going to be the number one issue when it comes to rapidly scaling, because I am 100% of the belief that people is killer. So for some reason, it's not erasing that, but whatever, that's fine. We'll leave it. So number 2, in my opinion, is very interesting. It is going to be, wait for it. You probably have already guessed it. It's going to be, sorry, that's not a money sign. Number 2 is standards. Okay? How do you keep standards high? So right now we have, I think, 14 or 13 people. And what's really interesting is there was a time when our agency, Better AMS, just had one account executive. Okay, one AE, or you can call this an account manager. Now it was me plus one AE. Okay, so technically we had 2 people onshore. Now if you don't know, I define onshore to be people who are from like United States, Canada, basically first world countries. They're going to be people who are actually really helping you grow the business, and they're working on the business with you as well as managing clients and doing the communication with clients. I define offshore to be people that are helping you with tasks and helping you get done stuff that is a little bit repetitive, but it's just so essential. You need these people offshore for $2 to $3 to $4 to $5 to $7 per hour. So at the time when we had one account executive, it was very easy for us to maintain high standards because it was just me and Destiny at that time, who was our account executive. So I mean, me and Destiny basically were able to communicate, and it was very easy because it was just her as the account executive, and I would occasionally just pass on ideas to Destiny, and it was very easy for me to manage her because it's one person. Okay, that's great. Now, when you have 2 account executives, it's still possible for you as the agency owner to watch over these 2 account executives and manage them. And plus, you know, once you have 2 account executives, well, Destiny technically is very well trained, and if she did amazing, then she can train the next person, which the next person was actually Alex. So technically Destiny can train up Alex on our systems, and that should work out okay. But what starts to happen is now you get to 5 AEs, and holy shit, this, not one person can manage 5 AEs while managing 15 accounts. So now what you're going to need to have at 5 AEs is you need someone to basically just a manager of AEs, and hopefully you can afford that at this stage because you need someone to hold the standards. Now, what are the standards? So standards are basically how you're executing the service for the client. Okay, there's many different ways to do the service that you have, but if you're planning on scaling an agency, you know, you need what is called a productized service. Okay, productized service. That basically means something that is step A to Z. So it's okay, how do you get a client from A to Z? Well, that's really easy. We have a productized service, so you're going to do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, terrible drawings here, and that's it. And if you do these 4 steps, we'll be able to increase the client sales by $20,000 per month. Now, the hard part is, first of all, there's not just 4 steps. Usually there's, let's just say there's 20 steps that you need to go through if you break it down into like the micro actions that need to be taken. Okay, great. So let's just say there's 20 steps, and some of those steps are recurring every single month. Well, the thing is that you need to have amazing training, and you also need to have, this is not how you spell training, but bear with me. You need to have amazing training, and you need to have basically like great, you know, this you could call this training / systems, and then you need a manager if you have 5 AEs. So this continues to evolve at scale. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 account executives. We're in the process of hiring one, and we're probably going to hire another one. So it's going to be about 6. So it's very interesting because as you scale this was never an issue when it was just 1 or 2 account executives. Once you have 3 account executives, it starts to become a problem. Once you have 4, it's seriously an issue if you don't have really good systems in place and you don't have a manager to watch over what people are doing and making sure that they're not deviating from the original system. Now, obviously, you still want your people to like think outside the box and you know, how can we improve this system? And that's fine, you can do that. But there's core things that need to be done the way they've been done to be able to scale very rapidly. And if those things aren't done that way, again, basically you have lower standards. There's going to be issues that arise that usually don't arise because, well, John, who you just hired, is doing something completely different than all the other people, and now that he's doing that, it's causing these issues that you've never seen before. And so how can we kill the cause of those issues? Well, it comes in the form of really good training, really good systems, and a manager. So that's the second issue you're going to run into when you're at like major scale. Now, look at this. We got a ton of stuff on the board. I'm thinking that we should just erase all of it. But so yeah, let's just erase all of this. Number 3 is really interesting. And by the way, all of these things is just the things that we've experienced internally at Better AMS. So number 1 was people, just so we don't forget. Number 2 was standards. And then number 3, culture, in my opinion, is number 3. Culture is very simple. It's your vision, it's your mission, it's your core values. It's what people do behind your back, which if you're a remote agency like Better AMS, you know, you can't even see your people. So you better have a damn good culture. Otherwise people aren't even going to work and you'll never really know. I mean, you'll know if, you know, they're not working more than 2 hours a day because it'll show in their results, but are they working at least 40 hours a week, which is what you're paying them for? Are they working more than that? I know for sure that I think I know for sure that everyone in our company is working more than 40 hours a week, and they choose to. It's a choice. They don't have to. They choose to. That's amazing. That for me is like a huge win. I'm super proud of the culture that we've built. It's hardworking people. Everyone feels aligned with what they're doing. They're happy. I just had one-on-ones with our entire team, and I was asking them, hey, how would you define the culture at Better AMS? And one of the responses was basically like a bunch of super driven people that are really like pursuing self-actualization and personal development through this company, through Better AMS. And for me, that's amazing. So culture is just one. If you have a great culture, you're not going to be churning through employees. Churning through team members is probably the biggest, most expensive thing. Hiring the wrong people is probably is the first problem. But not having a good culture is going to cost you. Okay, I've spoken with quite a few agencies who they would probably be at $500,000 a month if they had a great culture, but for 4 years they've had a shit culture and they're churning through employees and they're just killing people. Literally, people come into this thing, it's a disaster, it's chaotic, it's bureaucratic, it is dramatic, it's everything you can possibly think of, and that will hold you back. Okay, and this becomes an issue very quickly in a service-based business because remember, a service-based business is very, very people dependent. And the moment you have like 5 to 10 people, which happens very quick in a service-based business, like at $50,000 a month, you could easily have 10 people. I think we had about 10 people right around $50,000 a month. That's where culture comes into play. So that's another thing that you're gonna run into. Now, the last and final one I'm gonna mention is cash flow. Okay, this one's super important and it depends on your agency and how you do it, but cash flow is going to be an issue. If clients aren't paying on time, if you have $80,000 outstanding, okay, that's your MRR for the month, and you know half of your invoices are being paid in the first 30 days, and then the second half is being paid up until like day 90. You're going to run into cash flow problems, and that is a huge issue. So you really need to figure out and master your AR, which is your accounts receivable. Now, I can make a whole video on this. We just went through the process of optimizing our AR in Better AMS because it actually started to become an issue. And it's a little bit more difficult for us because we're based out of Panama, so Panamanian corporation. We don't have Stripe. We don't have the beautiful merchant processors that you have in the United States, and we kind of bite the bullet because it's kind of like tax-free. Okay, great, that's amazing, but we have this issue with we don't have Stripe, and so to process credit cards is a little bit harder. But we went through a process and we really improved our AR, and I'm super pumped about what we did. A few examples is like e-sign instead of like printout forms. So what we used to have like a printout, a printout like credit card authorization form where they had to print it out, write it out, scan it, send it back to us. And I was like, oh my God, this is so painful. Let's just make this an e-signature form so they can just like receive the email, type it out and send it, done. So that was one thing which definitely helped. And this is going to help increase the amount of people that want to sign up to like credit card authorizations. The second thing we did is offered more payment options and etc. I won't get into the weeds of this, but cash flow has become is going to be a huge thing you need to figure out. So at the end of the day, you know, what's really funny is that all of this stems to one thing and one thing only. All of this stems to systems. Even culture is a system, in my opinion. And standards, how you hold standards is a system. I don't care what it is, everything is a system. So you really need to be a master of systems, okay? If you want to read some great books on system building and system thinking, there's a great book by, what's her name? Thinking in Systems by Donella H. Meadows. This one's pretty complex, but it really shows you kind of like from a high level how systems actually work and the feedback loops and in a more technical engineering standpoint. But it's really interesting if you want to learn how to like build great systems and understand how all these systems affect one another. It's amazing. So anyways, I hope this was valuable. I know it was, again, a super high level video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you found this to be of any value to you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I almost forgot it. I had to cut it in here. Hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts about this video. I do my best to post a couple videos, if not more, per week on how to scale your agency. Just teaching the trials and errors that we're learning internally at our advertising agency, Better AMS. So thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Hit that sub button, and thanks for watching. Ciao.